So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another Way of the Hunter video. Now this video was recorded during the early access for Matariki Park, so a huge thank you to Nine Rocks Games and the Way of the Hunter team for allowing me to take part in this early access. Now this video is going to be about one thing. Giant feral pigs here on Matariki Park. This video is going to be all about some 5-star pigs that I managed to find during the early access because these guys are just insane. They are truly monstrous and I thought that they deserved their own video just dedicated to the pigs because they really are really cool. And this was the first 5-star I ever came across, and just look at the size of those tusks. He is absolutely monstrous. Now, managed to drop him there as he turned, and he actually lands really nicely for a trophy shot, so we will get a trophy shot in a minute. But just look at those tusks. That is a gigantic pig. These guys are so much bigger than the wild boar, which are also present on this map. There's not going to be any wild boar in this video, as I wanted to dedicate this video just to the feral pigs, which are the new species, and they are just seriously so much bigger. They are really giant. And obviously we saw the screenshot when the map was initially announced of the feral pigs, and we could see a pretty big male in that screenshot. But these 5-stars are truly monstrous. Seriously an impressive trophy to actually come across. Now, let's take a look at this guy's genetics. He's a 90.12%, so he is sort of lower end of the 5-star genetics, but still a really awesome trophy. But I was curious if they could actually get even bigger than this, because that isn't obviously the highest you can get for the percentage on the genetics, and he only scores 468, so I probably could have left this guy go for another cycle, I would guess, and you know, he probably may have got a little bit bigger, but this was just my first 5-star of the feral pigs, and obviously I wanted to drop him as soon as I saw him. I mean, that's just massive. And I also had no idea how old he was. I just came across this group and there was a 5-star amongst them, so no way I was going to let this guy go. But he's just massive. I mean, look at the curve on those tusks as well. And also you can see the fur type here it's kind of like a grey base with a couple of darker spots. It looks really nice and it is different to the wild boar. But obviously the main difference between the wild boar and the feral pigs is these tusks. I mean, that is just so insane looking. That is truly wild. I was not expecting the feral pigs to be this big, but I'm so glad they are because that just looks wild. That would be such an incredible trophy if you got a pig that big in real life. That has got to be a seriously old pig. He's amazing. Just an incredible animal. Really awesome. And I'm glad that they do have, you know, differences to the wild boar, that they're not just the same models renamed something different. Actually having like different trophy sizes and the different fur, that is a really nice touch. Now, moving on to the next feral pig, and we have another 5-star out here, which I was calling in. Once again, you're going to see the absolute size of this guy. I mean, we don't even need to look through the scope. Just look at the size of those tusks. He is absolutely massive. Now, something you'll notice with this pig, and you'll notice with all of the pigs in this video, is they all have the same fur. Now, that is really kind of disappointing to see, because there are multiple fur types for the feral pigs, and I have seen the younger ones, the smaller ones, and the females have different fur. But every single 5-star mature that I have come across, or even 4-star mature that I've come across, has had the exact same fur, this grey colour base with those darker spots. And it's a big shame because I would love to see these guys have multiple variants for when they get older, because, you know, feral pigs do come in a wide range of different colours, and it would be nice to get 5-stars with different coats. Maybe you can, and maybe I've just been really unlucky and I've only got the same fur type on all of the 5-stars I've found, but so far all of the big and really old sort of 5 and 4-star matures have all been the exact same. This guy is massive at 98.66%. That is some seriously good genetics, so I was really excited to see that pop up. And he scores 496. That is huge. That is a really big 5-star. I was so pleased that I had actually left him alive long enough because, you know, I do this a lot. I end up shooting things as soon as they hit 5-star, and then, you know, they could have got a lot bigger. But this guy had obviously aged to his sort of maximum age and was a really good size. And I mean, he is just massive. And there's a little bit of difference between his tusks and the tusks on the first 5-star. And we'll actually take a look at that at the end with some differences between the tusks on some of these 5-stars. And then I had this happen. This is from the same group that produced the first 5-star I came across, and I kept coming back and checking this group as there were some promising younger individuals, and this ended up happening. 2 5-star matures at the same time. This is always wild when you end up with multiple 5-star matures, but once again, you can see both of these have the exact same coat. So that's now 4 5-star matures with the same coat. And like I said, every single 5-star and 4-star I've seen has had this coat. Now, I had to make a decision here about what I was going to do with the shot. So I decided to take that closer one as soon as he turned, and I was pretty confident that that should have been an okay shot, and I was just looking here to see the blood, and I could see some pink blood there on the ground. Now, I knew that I was going to have to track this group and see if I could get the other 5-star, and luckily, the 5-star that I did shoot ended up running for quite a way, and you can see there was a sound indicator there that I marked. That's actually the group. They are just through those trees. So I was sneaking along here to claim this first 5-star, and it mustn't have been a great shot. I knew that from the fact that he ran so far. It did actually get into the lung, but just barely. You can see it just clipped the back of the lung as he was turning. I should have placed that shot a bit further forward, but it was enough to bring him down, and actually the fact that he ran for so long was in this case beneficial, as he led me straight back to the group. Now, this guy is an 85.78%, so he is barely a 5-star. That's pretty much right on that lower end of what can make 5-star, and he scores 454. So that really doesn't surprise me that he's got a lower score having genetics like that. Like I said, he barely is going to make 5-star with genes like that, but still another really impressive pig. You can see he's smaller than the previous 5-star, but nonetheless, those are still huge tusks. Now, as soon as I'd claimed that previous 5-star, I worked my way through that little bit of brush and those trees, came up into this nice open area. I could see the group of pigs. I couldn't see the 5-star, so I did some calling, and he actually came out of this brush here and gave me a nice shot and a very, very close look at him. And once again, I was just like, this thing looks massive. The tusks on them are just so impressive, and I'm going to say that throughout this entire video. They're so cool. Getting to hunt pigs with tusks like that is just something for me that isn't going to get old, because it's just so impressive. I mean, this guy is massive. And when they're, like, actually dead like this, the tusks end up clipping through quite often because they are just so big. So it's just nuts. Now, once again, a little bit far back in the lungs as this guy was turning, but a much more solid shot than on the previous pig, and he did not go anywhere near as far. He was maybe 100 meters or so from where we'd actually shot him, so that was actually a really good. And it was just cool to end up getting the first 5-star and then track them whilst actually tracking the blood for the first 5-star that we'd shot, and then actually end up finding the group and be able to take the second 5-star out at the end of that trail was really cool. This guy's a 93.89%, so considerably bigger in terms of genes, but he scores at 459. So once again, I could probably have left this guy alive for like another cycle, so maybe I should have left him alive a little bit longer, but again, I wasn't really sure, and I'm just glad to have gotten another 5-star pig. Now, this next clip is one of my favourite interactions I've had with a 5-star animal so far here on Matariki Park. This was really cool. I ended up spooking this particular 5-star feral pig from his drink zone, and he ended up running down here onto one of Matariki Park's beaches, which was just so cool. And so I ended up calling him in, and I wanted to see how close I could actually get him to come in. I wanted to see at what point would he actually spook or maybe go aggressive, just how close would he actually come. And you can see he came pretty darn close, and we get an amazing look at him through the scope here. That was nuts. Now, I didn't end up getting a shot there. He ended up spooking off again, but he didn't go very far. A lot of animals seem to get confused around the beaches, and he ended up stopping up here on this little bit of a hill, and this is where I actually managed to take him out. But I was just more curious to see how close he would actually get, so having him come that close was really amazing. I was so stoked about that interaction. I love that kind of thing in Way of the Hunter, when you can have an animal come and stare you down like that. It's just so cool. I was so thrilled about that. It was really just such a cool experience. And getting to see him just up close like that was awesome. I genuinely thought he might go aggressive, but he did actually turn and flee. I'm sure these guys can probably go aggressive, and I can imagine that would be quite an encounter to have as well. This guy, once again, is sort of like close to the bare minimum for 5-star at 85.52%, and only scores 453, which I was really surprised by, because when I looked at him through the scope, I thought he looked absolutely huge, but I guess that's just every 5-star pig looks absolutely massive in this game. Now, moving on, we have another 5-star from the same group that produced the first 5-star, the 2 5-stars at the same time, and now we have another 5-star from this group. This is why I kept checking this group, because I knew that there must be really good genetics actually within this group of pigs to keep producing 5-stars, so I figured I may as well just keep checking it every time an age cycle passes and just see what's in here, and there just kept being promising younger animals that ended up turning into 5-star matures like this guy. And once again, just a seriously massive looking pig. I really love the upper tusks on these guys. The curl on them is so cool looking. Obviously the bottom tusks have less of a curl, but they're still curled too, but those upper tusks have that really sort of close in curl, and I just think it looks really cool. This makes me want skull mounts in this game, because can you imagine how cool a skull mount of one of these guys would look? I love pig skull mounts in real life because they just show off the tusks so nicely for things like feral pigs and wild boar, and I would really love to see that in a game like this. I think it would be awesome. This guy is once again a smaller 5-star, scoring at 467, but still a really impressive pig. I mean, a fantastically huge male. That is just awesome. So cool. Even the smaller ones being this big, it's just such a cool thing to see. And finally, we have one more final 5-star pig from that very same group. Once again, you can see here, this is actually a rest zone that I found for these guys on the side of the road. I found it as I was driving around. That's how I found the very first 5-star from this group, is they ran out in front of me, and I was like, oh, feral pigs, took a look, and there was a 5-star amongst them, and that's how I discovered this group. I do have their drink zone, but it's not in the best area to hunt, whereas this area is nice and open, being right by the road, and as you can see, it's provided many fantastic hunting opportunities. And once more, we have another 5-star pig. This guy with a heart shot right as he turned, once again dropping him on the spot with the 338, which you'll see me use the 338 in a lot of my videos. If I'm not hunting for credits, I really like it for bringing animals down as quickly as possible. And this guy is an 86.27%, so similar percentage-wise to a lot of the males out of this group, but just once again, another seriously impressive pig, and he scores 456, so about what we'd expect with genetics like that. Now, if you guys want to know where I've been finding all of these 5-star pigs, I will put a hotspot map up at the end of the video showing where I have had the most luck finding these 5-star pigs. It's in the same areas where I've been having seriously good luck for red deer and a number of other species as well, so it's a really good area, so I will make sure to put that map up at the end of the video. But now taking a look in the lodge at 4 of the different 5-stars that we shot in this video. Now taking a look like this and going from one to the other, you can see the differences between the tusks on these guys. They all vary in size and in shape a little bit, and also in coloration. Some of them have sort of almost like ivory tips, whereas some of them are just completely brown. Some of them are much bigger, some of them are much smaller, but they all are fantastic, and obviously you can just see the clear differences between the sizes. That is the really big difference. The second one there on the list is really a lot bigger than the rest of them, and it's really cool to see that there is a good amount of variation with the pigs like this, because obviously with tusks it can be hard to give them a lot of variation, so this is really cool. I would love to see things like broken tusks and stuff like that eventually. I think that would be really awesome, and like I said, I'd love to see some more different furs for the 5-star matures and just the older and bigger matures in general, and that's something that I really hope can actually happen later down the line. But that is going to be it for this video, so thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always. I really like the feral pigs here on Matariki Park. I think they are some of the most impressive trophies in the game, honestly. They are seriously massive and they are really good fun to hunt, so I hope you guys will have fun hunting them as well, and hopefully the location that I've provided will also turn up some good pigs for you guys. So good luck with your hunting too, and like I said, that is going to be it for this one. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.